Jordan Clarkson, saying that name right there may have just left a very sour taste in a lot of Cleveland Cavaliers fans' mouth. Why? Well, because this man did a whole bunch of nothing for them, well, especially when they needed him the most. He did nothing. Man's averaged a jaw-dropping, record-breaking, earth-shattering 3 points per game in the 2018 NBA Finals to help the Cavs get the hell out of here and get swept. That's Jordan Clarkson's memory as a Cavalier. Jordan Clarkson was a no-show and completely disappeared when he was needed the most. Man just 25 years old, averaging a very respectable 12 to 13 points per game in the regular season just to poop his pants just a few months later. But I am here to say that if Jordan Clarkson, that man right there that we know today, that bona fide flamethrower, that's what they call him now these days I believe, if he never pooped his pants, then he wouldn't be the Jordan Clarkson that we all know and love today. I ain't gonna lie, you take a couple L's in life, massive L's especially, them things build character. And what I always say, bro, after a bunch of L's get thrown into your face repeatedly in life, somehow you're gonna end up picking up all these L's, gathering up, and you know what I'm saying, if you didn't know, 2 L's make a W, and you're gonna put things together. I'm so nice with this. All these L's literally built character and is the reason why he is who he is right now, and is the reason why he's been going nuts. Speaking about going nuts, what I'd want you to do is go nuts on that like button, and if you're new, go ahead and go nuts on that subscribe button as well, because I'm going to be one of your favorite NBA channels soon to come. Your support, I need that. Your comment down below, I need that. And your subscription, I especially need too, so give it here. Feels really awkward to say this, but the Utah Jazz have been in the news a lot so far this season. They've been a constant topic of discussion for the first time in a very long time. Towards the beginning of the season though, it started because of Shaq, you know, the big bald dude who's in all the commercials and was hooping for the Lakers and the Miami Heat back in the day and the Orlando Magic. Yes, him, Shaquille O'Neal. It all started because he was doing his normal everyday weird routine of hating on players today. And earlier this season he decided that Rudy Gobert was going to be one of the players that he hated on. He hated on Rudy for getting a bag and was saying that as a talent, he basically said he was not that good, and it felt like he was continuously throwing shots at Rudy to get him to say something back, but Rudy just kept it G and continued to mind his business. And after he figured out that he couldn't get on Rudy's case no more because then he just straight up looked like a weirdo, he continued to say this to Donovan Mitchell's face in 4K. Screw 4K, bro, this is 8K.
Father, this is Shaq. I said tonight that you are one of my favorite players, but you don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I want you to hear it. What do you have to say about that?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
All right, that's it.
Man said straight up that he believes that he doesn't have what it takes to win at all. Regardless of whether you think that is true or not, that is just not something that you say to any NBA player during an interview, unless you're Bruno Fernando. There are ways to talk about how you feel about a player's future or potential without being disrespectful. So hella people were talking about how awkward that whole entire situation was, and it seems like the entire team has their 2 stars back and have been backing them up all season. And as we speak right now, they are currently, statistically at least, the best team in the NBA, and one of the biggest contributors to that is Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson is the perfect remedy for success as a 6th man in the NBA today. Man had hella adversity growing up and wasn't even a highly touted sought after prospect. He was just a nobody who was selected by the Los Angeles Lakers back in the 2014 NBA draft, which was high-key a blessing in disguise. Cause if you notice, Jordan Clarkson plays with a certain swagger, confidence, and fearlessness to him. He ain't scared of nobody, and this man was literally trained to go. He's a go-getter and knows how to go get buckets in various ways. And back when he was a Los Angeles Laker, it was clear as day, and this man was really producing just about right off rip at a pretty respectable and not high level, but a surprising level, considering that this man was a 2nd round pick, a late 2nd round pick at that as well. Nobody expected any of these things out of someone like Jordan Clarkson. He was one of the many steals from that 2014 NBA draft class. That class was flames, now that I think about it. So Jordan was really in a man situation and really didn't know actually how to win basketball games back when he was a Laker. And of course, as we all know, back in those times for the Lakers, they were like some of the toughest times in their franchise history. But he got to be alongside one of the GOATs, Kobe Bryant. And I'm pretty sure it is safe safe as hell to say that this man gained a lot of his fearlessness, or at least some intangible, from Kobe Bryant and applied this to his game, and he's just been sharpening that tool at a rapid rate to get him to the point to where he's at right now. Shut up. Bluetooth talking when I'm trying to vibe right now. During the Lakers' duration of their really deep, dark, depressive days, Jordan Clarkson was always one of the better players on that roster. Man had to play with Ryan Kelly, Robert Sacre, and Jordan Hill. Oh my god. And because he really didn't have any options or any real good basketball players to feed off of, the man kinda had to go ahead and get it himself. When I say get it himself, man had to go ahead and get buckets himself, and he had no one to set him up. So that situation that he started out in LA kind of guided him and let him know what type of player that he was going to be for the rest of his career. And those type of players are very tricky to work with and tricky to handle, and that's why when this man Jordan Clarkson was shipped off to the Cleveland Cavaliers, at first it was all sweet grits and gravy. I don't know why I just said that. Hopefully it didn't sound weird. But anyways, when he was first shipped off to Cleveland, it was great. LeBron was happy. That first game in Boston, bro, people were turning up, piping up. Yo, we finally got a crew around LeBron. But as time went on, Ty Lue at the time, who wasn't a good coach in my humble opinion, didn't get this man Jordan Clarkson involved in the offense much at all. And Jordan Clarkson, since his Laker days, was the type of player to need the ball in his hands to get his own offense going. And once that happens, it's a masterpiece. But it didn't happen, and if it did, it would happen once in a while. Jordan Clarkson would be used as a spot-up shooter, and if you don't know much about Jordan Clarkson, this man, he is a good shooter, but he ain't no spot-up shooter. He's way more of a rhythm type player and just can't go multiple possessions without touching the ball in his hands, or else he's gonna crap the bed. And that's exactly what he did once he went into the playoffs, and especially in the 2018 NBA Finals. Man's played some of the worst basketball I've seen in my life, and he seriously averaged 3 points per game and played like a total of 12 minutes. The man was talented enough to put up better numbers, but he was just placed in a really uncomfortable, awkward situation, being asked to do things that he literally never did before in his career. Cleveland was just a very, very toxic place in general, and that toxicity entered Jordan Clarkson's veins and just ruined him as a player for the moment. And that's why he was shipped off so cheaply to the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz made a genius trade, and also the Cleveland Cavaliers did too, because they ultimately ended up getting Jared Allen. But anyways, over there in Utah, there is no electrifying guards. Like, the Utah Jazz needed Jordan Clarkson to be the Jordan Clarkson of the old, not the new, not the 3 point per game in the NBA Finals Jordan Clarkson. That dude was garbage. They needed the Jordan Clarkson from the old days. They needed an electrifying scorer off the bench, and that's what Jordan Clarkson was for a majority of his career. This go-getter mentality is the reason why Jordan Clarkson is a sixth man in my opinion. Historically, most six men who were high scorers had this exact same mentality. Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, runner-up, Dennis Smith. Oh my god, Dennis Schroeder, bro, I'm a Hawks fan. This looks so bad right now. But you see the video, you see where I'm taking this conversation to. Jordan Clarkson, one of his main attributes is scoring, just simply putting the ball in the basket. And when you look at all these other players that I just listed, Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, their best features, well, kind of excluding Dennis Schroeder because he does a few more things, but the best features about these few players that I just listed, that I just named, was their scoring. They're mainly scorers. That's where they make their money, and Jordan Clarkson fits literally the same type of mold. That score-first mentality is something that the Utah Jazz desperately needed, and they got that for really cheap. Clarkson has been averaging 18 points per game so far this season on 45% from the field and 38% from three. He is the guard that a lot of teams like Utah needs. Over the past few years, they had no firepower, no ammo, no offensive punch, nor kick. Bro, ever since Hayward left, the wing play that they had was never explosive. Like, bro, be real for a second. Outside of Donovan Mitchell, who the hell was supposed to scare me from the perimeter from this team? Tell me, please, like, I'm begging you, tell me. Ricky Rubio? George Hill? Like, no disrespect to those players, they're very nice, but they're literally the opposite of what Utah needs. Jordan Clarkson is the type to force the issue and leave the defense crying, begging for a tissue. Whew. That is bar of the day. Note that, my friend, and tag me on Instagram and record it too. Clarkson brings a level of comfort to the Utah Jazz that they haven't had in a very long time. This is the first time that they had a top 5 offense and defense in the same year. They're deep and have so many threats around Donovan Mitchell, but the biggest one lies on that bench, aka the future 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. He is aggressive and concise with his moves, and he gets straight to the point. This type of offensive talent off the bench is something that they've never had, and is something that they truly appreciate. You can tell by the way his teammates talk about him, his coach, and also how the fans rave about him as well. This season that Jordan Clarkson is having is a career year, and this year he just simply been hitting different. There ain't no other 6th man right now doing it like him. Utah has 4 perimeter threats this season. They got Donovan Mitchell doing his thing even though he's not that efficient. Mike Conley has had sort of a resurgent season even though he's not the Mike Conley of the old, but he's still very good and very respectable. Then you got Joe Ingles and Bojan Bogdanovic. Now all those players, in my opinion, their second biggest threat outside of Donovan Mitchell comes off of the bench. Now that is crazy. This is the end of the video though, man. I really do appreciate you for coming over here on my channel on this very late night or day, whatever time you're watching this. Just know that I appreciate you, and I'd appreciate you even more if you went ahead and liked this video, subscribe to the channel, and also left a comment, and why not even share it with at least one of your friends. That's all I'm asking. Just give me one share, and just know that I'm smiling in the inside and you're doing this for a real one. Anyways, outside of all that, make sure you go ahead, follow me on my socials, blah blah blah, and all that hella blue. But one thing that I want you to know is that I really do hope that you make your day great. Until then, I'll get right with you.
No way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made it certain, free the way, so my girl, who'd ever thought?